What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Submission Fishing Live. My name is Muto. Glad you could join us. How's everybody doing out there today on this beautiful Thursday? I know me, I was freezing my ass off. Woke up today, it was like, 30 something degrees out?
Yes.
Freaking ridiculous. Out here in Carlsbad, it was actually hailing yesterday. I don't know about you guys, but where you live, but it was coming down for a while here in Carlsbad, it's pretty nuts. If you ask me, let's see who we got in the house today. Big Water Yak Fishing. Oos, number one, what's going on? Welcome. Scooby Doo 20, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Oos, Eric the Judge Lehman, welcome. Where you been, Eric? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Now you're a big business owner.
He has not been on a boat.
You got your anniversary, all these fancy things you got to do. Glad you can be here. Peter 86, welcome. Glad you could join us. Jessica Muto, Oos, welcome to the show. C Samurai, Kevin, Oos, welcome. Glad you can be here. Eric, any morning sickness yet? Not me, dude. I feel great. Let's see. Cave Dog in the house. Cal, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show. Glad you could be here. Steven Mendoza. Oos. Welcome. Welcome. Glad you're joining us. So you don't want to miss anybody. TV Metal Heart. Todd, welcome. You guys know Todd. See him in the chat there. This is what he made. This piece of art behind me. The Slow Death Jig. The life-size version. 60 gram. Thank you, Todd. Awesome work. Graham, welcome. Glad you could join us. Let's see here. Captain Dan, North County. Oos, that's right. Welcome. Leonard Oos, welcome to the show. Saltwater Slayer. Glad you could be here. Salty Dangler. Oos, what's going on, man? Doug Ruman, welcome. William Spencer, the spam bot, welcome.
I got it.
Maybe he just doesn't know how to type. He was so excited that the show was on, like he didn't know what was going on, so he just
banged his head.
Yeah, he banged his head into the keyboard. Just some random numbers popped up. He was so fired up for it. Let's see here. What do you guys got going on? There was something I saw in here that I was going to comment on, but no, I don't remember. Oh, I think it was the trivia. Yeah. See, some are asking about the trivia. Kevin's banned from trivia. Kevin can stay. You know what? You guys got to step your game up. If you guys like the trivia, you guys like that? If that's something you guys like, we can do it like and we can do it like put it in the rotation once a month, maybe like either the first or last or third. I can come up with a day and then come up with trivia. We can do giveaways and stuff like that. That'd be pretty cool. It was something you guys enjoyed. I think it went pretty well. The trivia was cool. Noel, what's going on? Glad you can join us. Whose spot can I give up today? Burn them up, man. Give them all away. You like the trivia, Yak? Yeah, I don't have any prepared today. It takes a little while to get together, but I mean, something I'm willing to do if you guys are into it. I thought it was pretty cool last time. Till Kevin came in and destroyed everybody. Like all he needed was like 7 questions. Ran away with it.
Literally like 30 minutes.
That's why they call him the Sea Samurai. No. He is the master. Big water fishing. Jiu-jitsu fight reviews. Oh. What kind of fights? Is it like the super fights? Or fights I've been in? My techniques? Let me know. All right, guys. Let's see what we got going on here.
Steve Mendoza asked about how he can get one of those giant lures hanging on the wall.
Oh, Steve Mendoza was asking about the lures?
Your giant lure.
Oh, yeah, the giant lures. You must have just come in late, but Todd, if you see him in the chat, his name's TB Metal Art. You can go to his tbmetalart.com. He actually makes these, and a lot of people have other art. So he does fish. I mean, he does awesome fish, like Dorado, Yellowtail, pretty much whatever you want. He does flags. He does like other work, but he does a lot for the guys in the community here. I know they bought a ton of his work. If you want to buy a jig, he'll probably make you a jig too. But pretty much he do whatever. He does great work. Check him out. Get on his waiting list. I know he's got a little bit of a list, but ask the guys here. They got a lot of stuff done, and it's really awesome. And he's a big member in the fishing community here in San Diego, so it's cool. He's not just an artist, he's a fisherman too, so makes it all that much better, supporting these guys. Friday night submission fishing bingo. That'd be interesting. I don't know how we do with bingo though. You'd have to like prove the card. right? Somebody typed bingo, you'd have to. I guess maybe you could do it. We'll see. What about bunko?
Bunko's super fun.
Smash fishing bunko. I don't even know what bunko is. I just know old people play it all the time, like grandmas.
More other
Every
people other than old people play it.
Salty says
Nice game.
every week bring a subscriber to roll with. Yeah. Well, some like Roy, he's a purple belt, I think. I'd be down to roll with you guys, even if you don't train. I mean, it teach you something, learn. I mean, if it got people into jujitsu, I think it'd totally be worth it.
We have maps here.
You know, I can fight in a way where it's like controlled without. I go with like a lot of the white belts because that way they don't get hurt. You know, when they don't know what they don't know, you can kind of control the pace and make sure they don't break their arm or something. It's pretty cool. He even makes Raider stuff. So there you go. One reason not to buy TB Metal Art.
Tyler Don's here.
Tyler, what's going on, man? Welcome. All right, guys. So let's see in the news. Not there was some stuff in the news. So Fred Hall canceled. I know a lot of people were looking forward to that. I know a lot of people were going to be there too. They had the what was it? The S or PCS show was last weekend, and it seemed like it's kind of what everybody went to. It was another trade show. I didn't go personally. I went out fishing, but I know a ton of people went. Looked pretty cool. I saw some pictures, and then the Fred Hall show was the biggest one. Those of you guys that don't know, it really was a trade show that was huge. It used to be here in Del Mar, and it was really the prominent show for boats, fishing. I never actually been to a Fred Hall show. I think by the time I've always been into fishing, but like in selling jigs and stuff was like since wasn't really into that, it like really wasn't my thing going to the trade shows and stuff. Now that I do, it's like I'd show more interest in it, but it's not there. But it used to be this huge show. I mean, I used to always hear about it. I'd hear about it on the radio, all that stuff, the Fred Hall show. And then COVID hit and it kind of went away for obvious reasons. You know, government shut everything down. And they were scheduled to come back this year in Long Beach, and it was canceled short notice too, which was kind of the crazy thing. The only thing they've decided or was it was COVID related. At least on their homepage, that's what they were saying. They thought the government was going to open up stuff like that, even though I think they probably are going to lift a lot of regulations and stuff, which is funny. So I don't know what the truth is. A lot of people were saying it got sold. Fred Hall was suing some people. I mean, there's so much drama behind it. It's like, it's pretty funny. Like I said, last week I was at the tackle store, and this was even before it was canceled. People were talking about how like they had all these like theories going on, and it was pretty funny. I don't really know why it closed. All I can say is what it was stated was a COVID related, but it's not happening. So that kind of sucks. I know some people are having booths, and what's down is like it hurts. You know, the fact that people probably had booths that they were going to go set up for a long time. They had months in it, and I don't know how much revenue they make on these. But if it did get canceled that quickly, like with that short of notice, that kind of sucks. You know, especially these people wanted to show new products. At least it was the PCS, which was I think pretty cool. But not everyone went on that. I think the vendors a lot of times chose one or the other. So it is what it is. No Fred Hall. So if you had tickets, sorry about that one, guys. And then other news, there's some fish plants actually in the lakes around here. February 24th, so that's actually today. Lake Poway got 1,500 trout, and February 25th, and then tomorrow, Santee Lake is getting 1,500 trout. I'm assuming that's pounds. I don't think they can. I just have in my notes here. I don't think they count the actual individual trout. Maybe my notes say 1,500, so I'm assuming it's 1,500 pounds. So Lake Poway today and Santee Lake. So if you guys are into freshwater fishing, trout fishing, definitely go do that. Whenever I go freshwater fishing, I always fish for trout. Usually trout, catfish. I know everybody goes for the bass game. I've never actually fished for freshwater bass, believe it or not. I've always been into saltwater. And then whenever went lake fishing, I grew up on a lake, but my lake fishing experience was always boiled down to trout. I don't know why. I just always enjoyed it. I think because I can eat it. You know, there's something about catching fish that you can enjoy, take home and eat that I always liked. So going for the trout was always my thing. Went up there and got a few earlier this year and took them home and smoked them. It was pretty good. So if you guys are into trout, Poway, Santee, just stocked. It's probably gonna be crazy though. That's the only thing. When they stock these lakes, people watch. You can actually go to a site and see when they're stocking them, and people they just follow the stock. So usually the day after it's stocked, it's freaking crazy. It's still fun though. Cal Oos, what's going on? Welcome. Oh, I already hit Cal, but I see you in the notes for some reason.
Dave Rage, he asked a question.
Oh, okay.
Those are from Instagram.
Oh, those are the Instagram questions. What's going on, Dave Rage? Welcome.
And Fresh One and your mom and Tyler.
Fresh One, welcome to the show. Tyler, I think we got, but welcome. G Marie Muto, welcome to the show.
Snow up there.
Yeah, it was snowing up in the mountains. It's mission fishing mailing list with the bingo card. Is that a thing?
We could make it a thing.
We can. Hey, if you guys want bingo, I mean, we'll figure it out. We'll do it. Maybe we'll add that to the boat trip. Saltwater Slayer. He's laughing at Eric. Graham, speaking of BJJ, I saw two purple belts who have been rolling together for years lose it, and it got in the way too serious. I had to be separated. Crazy. Yeah, I mean,
sometimes you just gotta.
It's sometimes it happens, with especially when people are equal belts. It's like I've never had it. I don't think I've ever. I mean, usually it gets heated. Like I'm a brown belt, and if I roll with another brown belt, you never want to lose to like the same thing unless you get caught. You get caught, but those matches do get heated, dude. It's like I've never had one separated or like we weren't friends afterwards. I have never had it go that far. I've seen some beef sometimes. It's pretty rare though. I mean, as much rolling as we do, most people are pretty cool about it. But yeah, it does happen. I mean, when you're physically trying to like beat somebody, and it's pretty hairy sometimes. But yeah, nobody wants to lose, man. It's different when you're like a white belt rolling with a higher up or something because there's kind of an expectation that you're going to lose, or they get frustrated and stuff. But it's never to that point. But like when you get two black belts or like two brown belts or purple belts, it's like it gets pretty crazy. Because if you're a purple belt and you lose to a black belt, you're like, well, I was expected to lose, so it's not that big of a deal, and you learn something. But you go up against another purple belt when you're a purple belt, you're like, oh, I can't lose to this guy. That's nuts, dude. I believe it though. I've seen it. It's too bad. Hopefully they're shook hands and be friends. That's the fascinating thing about jujitsu though. Is like you go over there and we beat each other up for an hour, and normally it's all smiles. You hug afterwards. You high five. It's like it's kind of what's great about it. You learn to lose. You learn to win. There's always a bigger fish, man. There's always somebody better than you. No matter how great you're doing, somebody comes along and just puts you out. Let's see here. Just catching up on the chat. Fresh One, what's going on? Welcome.
Jaden Mack, above average. Dave Rage, say hi to him already.
I said, what's up to Dave?
Okay.
Jaden Mack, what's going on? Welcome. Yeah, are you ready for the Rockfish opener? Yeah, that's definitely on the notes to talk about for sure. We're going to get to that. I got a little Rockfish set up for you guys. Give us a refresher on what's going on and all that stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, fishing report I went out this weekend. Like I said, I didn't go to the trade show. It was okay. It's been slow. And winters, it's been so freaking cold. We had that hot, like weekend before last, we had that like hot, what would you call that? Heat wave. Yeah, it was pretty brutal, but then it's been cold. It's been freezing right now, but I got on a couple fish, hit a calico, and then I fished for some spotties. I was looking for halibut, so I caught a lizardfish and a mackerel, and I put them down on like a Carolina rig, and then one on a drop loop. And I trolled those fish around for hours, and didn't get a single bite on them. I had this mackerel tied on for it was nice. It was a little mac. It wasn't too big, so it was like a little mackerel. I trolled this thing around for probably 2 hours, like right through its nose, and it was like it was still alive. So I would just pull it up and check it, and it'd be swimming and kicking around. So after like 2 hours, I was ready to go in. I couldn't find any halibut on it, or nothing was biting. So uh, I let it go. It was like the mackerel. It was like the gladiator that earned its freedom. Like it put in its time, it survived, and it swam away. I mean, I was surprised. The thing was probably exhausted, but I think I was pulling it most of the time, so I don't think it had to work that much. But it was just crazy. I mean, that thing was pretty hardy, man. Mackerel's no joke. A lot of times bait you put on there, and it just, especially like the sardines and the anchovies, those things are done after 2-3 minutes. They're already exhausted. But this guy, man, he just kept plugging. He did not want to be eaten. Yeah, no luck on the lizardfish either. Just dragged him around. Tried to hit the outskirts on the sand and just nothing. Just bass. Bass was the story.
Benny Marino
Fresh
was
one. What the
there.
hell happened to the Fred Hall show? Yeah, dude. I mean, they're saying COVID. I don't know. I've been hearing other stuff, lawsuits and all kinds of nonsense, but I don't really know. I don't think anybody really knows unless you're like in the know. But yeah, who knows if it ever comes back? I mean, that's the other thing I've been hearing is a lot of people are like, that's probably it because there's been, I don't know if it was sold or what happened. Crazy. Gladiator Mac. Oh, Bukai, welcome. Yeah, dude. Dude earned his freedom. He got set free. He was the champ, dude. It was funny.
Did you say hi to Spotty at Best and Benny
Spotty at
Marino?
best. Welcome. Who else was in here?
Benny Marino.
Benny Marino. What's going on? Yeah, he just joined our Discord, dude. I saw you in there. Welcome to the Mad Max Fishing Club. Got some good stuff in there. Let's see here. We got some Instagram questions we had asked, and then we'll get into some rockfish stuff. We also had a fishing report from Graham went out there. He sent me an Instagram message over the weekend, and he said he went out to Dana Point on Sunday. He got pounded by a nasty wind swell in the morning, calmed down around 10, but couldn't find any max at all. But I was out the point around Salt Creek looking for WSB, white sea bass, lots of kelp, standing straight up and no current. Saw a huge sea turtle in the harbor, which was pretty cool. A couple sandies on the way back into Baby Beach. So at least no skunk. Yeah. That's good stuff, man. So we went up to Dana Point. Those of you guys that don't know, you go past the jetty. We should do a trip up there. Dana Point's actually pretty cool. We should do a fishing trip there. So once you go out the jetty, you actually get out pretty quick to like some kelp. There's kelp beds out there at the point, and it's one of those things where it's an MPA, but you can fish in it. So the MPA is really for like shellfish and urchins and stuff like that. So even though it's an MPA, like on your Fish Legal app, it's one of those MPAs that has different rules where you can actually still fish in it. That's pretty cool. And then if you go out the jetty to the left, there's a beach right there, and it's really weird. Like so, there's this shallow beach, and you can fish like imagine if you went into La Jolla, you know how you can't fish there because their MPA is a no fishing zone. Well, this one you can fish in. So if you go out the jetty and take a left, you're literally in just like 10 feet or less of water. And there's like tons of halibut there apparently. So you can fish like just into the breakwater or before the breakwater. So you see the waves breaking over, but there's this whole flat area. And then when you just go out, you can go out straight into deep water, or if you go north, you actually can hit the rocks. There's like the point. There's all these like crazy rock structures and kelp and stuff out there. So I've seen some big sheephead come out of there. So I think it's definitely worth doing a trip out there if you guys are down. It's pretty cool. I've been out there, I think 2 times now in my kayak, and I'm getting more familiar with it as I go. But people have some good success up there. One time I did really well, and then one time I went, it was kind of slow, but definitely cool. Some new ground at least. You know, we hit the same places kind of over and over. Eric Lehman, hit the button. Yeah, guys, if you see people typing oos in the chat, it just means that they've liked the show. So if you like what you see, you like what you hear, and you're enjoying the community, just hit oos, and that just means you've hit the like button. That'll help us out for sure. Get the word out. It'll help YouTube send the algorithm out. So the more likes, the better. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Eric. Let's see. Yeah, good stuff. So thank you, Graham, for that fish report, by the way. And then he was also asking about the maintenance on my kayak. He was saying he keeps it covered and stuff like that. As far as like, I know you spray looks like you spray yours with a 303 UV protectant on the yak, on the rubber seals and all that to prevent cracking and fading. I'm not too, like, as far as maintenance goes, I spray it down all the time. I always wash it, but I'm not, and then I cover it. Obviously, I try to take care of it, but I'm not like I'm not that committed. I guess I put a lot of miles on that thing. I definitely wash it down. I spray it, but yeah, I haven't put any of like the protectant on it and stuff like that. But I've already been through, a rudder cable. My handle broke. My drive needed to be repaired. Like all the moving parts of my kayak have already almost been replaced at this point, and the holes seem to be adding up pretty good. But same thing with rods. Definitely when I get them out, spray them down. That's a must. Spray them hard, and then once you get to the reels, you just kind of trickle water over them. You don't want to blast them too crazy. But yeah, I don't get too involved with like the detailing and stuff like that. Usually I just spray it, hit it hard, and then put it away for sure. We had, let's see here, G Martinez, BJJ. Hey, that another jujitsu fisherman. I love it, man. He was asking about crankbaits for the surf and jetty fishing, and I got to be honest with you, G Martinez. I don't know if you're in the chat, but the guys in the chat are probably the ones to ask about that. So if you guys know about crankbaits, let them know. I honestly don't fish crankbaits very much. I've got some. I've thrown them a few times, but they're not really my forte. So if you want to talk, fishing, and I do fish in the jetty here in Carlsbad sometimes. And like this is a crankbait. Those you guys what he's talking about. They're usually smaller, and they got that square nose. And these things are designed they really dig in. So when you crank it to you, it digs in and it kind of goes this way, protects the hooks and stuff like that. The good thing about crankbaits is they're pretty easy to use. Really, you just cast them out and you crank them in. There's not too much to them. What I usually use is jerk baits, which are pretty similar. They still got the nose, but you see it's not as prominent. So if you do want to fish the surf and jetty fishing, I use usually this. This is like the Lucky Craft. I think this is the 110 minnow. That's what a lot of people use. And I got the little modification there with the blade. I catch halibut with these. Only shorts. I've only had short halibuts, honestly, out of the lagoon. I think I've caught in a few. Aqua or Hedionia Lagoon. I caught a halibut on this thing probably a couple months ago. Went out there and fished it, and then this one too, which is same thing. It's a Lucky Craft, but I modified the hooks on it, and this one actually sinks, so there's no nose. It'll sink down, and when it goes down, it wobbles, and then you crank it in and stop, let it wobble down again. So these are kind of my go-to. This one's pretty shallow, a shallow diver. So if you fish it in shallow water, it's not going to go all the way down. It'll maybe dive like 12 inches or so because it's got that short bill. But yeah, ask the guys about crankbaits. So if you guys have any crankbait advice, definitely give it to Gio or G Martinez in there. Let him know. Like I said, I don't want to be like the guy that's trying to talk about something I don't know about because I don't really know crankbaits all that much. But jerkbaits for sure. The only difference, like jerkbaits, you pull them and then they wobble and they make a different motion. You can actually just straight crank a jerkbait too. You don't have to whip it and make it do its thing. You can slow retrieve it and stop it. I mean, a lot like a crankbait. But I'm sure they work in the jetty. Depends what you're looking for. The halibut, there's probably not much bay bass in there. I don't know if you're gonna get. I mean, you're probably not gonna get the perch or the opaleye or anything like that. So, if you're probably looking for maybe some sculpin, sand bass, and then mostly halibut for sure. But definitely point him in the right direction, guys. I know you will.
Says I fish crankbaits for largemouth. Cal says be prepared to spend a lot of time casting and looking for structure. And Eric says need to fish the middle hook.
Yeah, you guys give us some great advice out there. Awesome.
Instead of treble.
Inline hooks instead of treble. Yeah, that's what this one is. Those of you guys that are saying that. So this one came with treble hooks, but I put the inline hooks and then add a little spinner in the middle. Good stuff, guys. Let's see here. Aaron, what size submission fishing jigs do you use for rockfish? Yeah, we'll definitely go into that more. But these ones right here, the Javelin. This is the 130. This is the one we're going to give away today, by the way. So you guys can win this. If you typed OOS on the last video, you're going to get one of those. This one's Kevin Nakata. Still got to go out. This is the 220, but either of these will work. We're going to go out next week and we're going to crush it on those things. So we'll show you how it's done. But yeah, either the 130, if you're fishing sub 150 feet, if you're going deeper than that, up to like 300 feet, I'd say probably the 220. If we're going way deeper, 500-600 feet, I've got some big ones coming. I don't have them yet, but I got some ogre jigs. They're like 400 to 600 gram, absolute monsters. But they'll crush it. Big long ones that like tumble down when they roll. Should be good stuff. Jumping jacks will warm you up.
He's saying it's too cold for him to finish up in Oxnard.
That's true. I did jumping jacks one time before we went out, and then Eric rolled up And the only thing he said to me was, "You make me sick." And I asked him why, and he was like, "Because I was doing jumping jacks." Mostly just helps me stretch my back out, loosen me up a little bit. That kayak, dude, you don't want to pull that thing down when you're cold, especially mine's on top of my van. It's like you blow something out. I'm too old for that, man. I got to warm up. I got to stay fresh. Got to get limber. Not like these young kids, man. I can't just roll out of bed and do it anymore. Yeah, hand warmers work wonders. Yeah, definitely, dude. Cal for sure. Hot hands are where it's at. 100%. Let's see. I think we got all the questions. Thanks for the questions, guys, by the way. Hopefully I answered some of those for you.
Did you see where Eric said you'd probably get more likes if I was in the picture with you?
I'd probably get more likes if Jessica was in the picture.
Mm-hmm. That's what Eric said.
Really, Eric? How about the cat? Watch. See that? There you go. Now we better get some likes. That's right. Tell him, Butterbear. She's going to get those likes. We might do it. We'll do a segment with Jessica, right? Maybe we'll put her on camera when she does the giveaways. Since all you creepers want Jessica on the show. Let's see here. But yeah, we'll answer some more of your questions. Old, you young. Dude, I'm going to be 40 in like a couple months. I know I'm not that old, but it's like, that's not young. That's not that young, man. I'm creeping up there. Who is as old as my oldest son? Yeah, you guys are in good shape, though. I'm not saying I'm like debilitated, but it's like, I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel it. Every year it's like, it's, you warm up. It takes longer and longer. Every year it's like, just a little longer to get things done. Oos, Benny Moreno, thanks for the like, man. Cat looks pregnant also. How dare you, Eric? She is not pregnant. She's fat.
She's just old.
She's just old. She's going to be 17 this year. Take it easy on her. Eric, 40 is young. That's what everybody says, right? Until you're like, when you're 60, then it's young. It's just, I know how it goes, man. Time flies. All right. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So what do we got going on? The good news is it's winter. Or actually, the winter is the bad news. The good news is we've got rock fishing coming up. One of the bad things about fishing during the winter, especially here in San Diego, is that we have the rockfish closes from January, February closes for 2 months. And then the bad thing about that is everything else like goes to crap too, right? The water gets cold. It's crazy because rockfish are like the one fish that don't really care when it's cold. They seem to eat pretty regularly, eat whether it's cold or not. And then when it's like the 2 coldest months, they're like, oh, you can't fish rockfish either. So that's why I say it's kind of the dog days of winter, man. It's even up to December, I was fishing rockfish, sheephead, stuff like that. And now we're finally going to get the rockfish back. So by the time this show comes on next week, we'll be in for rockfish. So March 1st, rockfish season is back in action. So like I said, hopefully we'll get some of the dog days of fishing out. It'll open up our fishery by a huge margin because we get a whole bunch of species come on. We get like the 60 rockfish open up, lingcod, cabezon, whitefish, sheephead are back. Sculpin you could always fish, but it's nice having that fishery back. So that should be good. I know I'm going out. Obviously not this weekend, but the next weekend for the opener. I'll be out there getting on a few boats. I think I'm going with big water yak fishing. We're going to hit one Saturday, and then I might go with Fish Perfect on Sunday. Everybody wants to hit the rockfish as they're coming up. They're in the drought. But that's good stuff. So a couple things you do got to remember. Some regulations just for refreshers is when it comes to rock fishing, and you can get all this stuff. Go to California's website's actually really good, and they've got some good PDFs for like rock fishing regulations and stuff like that. And one thing, let me move this over here. A couple things you got to remember, and we'll go over this a little bit, is the depth that you can fish at. So 600 feet or 100 fathoms, that's the maximum depth. So you can't go deeper than that. That's pretty deep, honestly, because that only changed, I think, 2 years ago, where it had to be I think it was like half that. It was way shorter. So they opened that up. It's still open. So if you guys haven't fished the 600 feet yet, like we did last year, I think was actually the first year that it opened up again. Definitely go do that. There's still some huge fish out there. So that's good stuff. But that is the limit. So you can't go deeper than that. If you're most of the sport boats are going to know that stuff. You know that they should know the rules and everything. But if you're going out on private boats, or with some buddies and stuff like that, you can't just go anywhere you want. You know, don't go find a cave that's or a canyon that you find that's 1,200 feet deep, you know, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, because you're going to get popped. Um, and then some other things are the fish that you cannot catch. So, oh man, this was the big PDF. This is the one that I wanted.
Coach Warp is here.
Coach Worf, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. If you guys want to know any fishing questions, he is the man to go to, the rock fishing guy. But let me see if I can find this. Like cow cod, you cannot catch. So you guys do all your homework, see what you can catch. Cow cod are off limits. Bronze rockfish are off limits, and I think there was one more, but we don't really have it down here. So you got to know really what you're going for, what you're fishing for when you're going for the rockfish. Probably the biggest one is going to be the cabot or the cow cod. Um, they kind of look like vermilion or the other fish. You got to know what you're looking for. Typically, the size is the giveaway. These things are monsters. I mean, maybe 20 pounds, no problem. Um, so just be aware of that. You know, we don't really get the other ones down here too much, like the yellow eye, and I think there's the bronze rockfish. You got to be careful of. So just don't pull those things up. And some of the other regulations were the vermilion rockfish. So that last year that was 5. You got 5 fish, and they switched that down to 4 fish. So you used to get 5 fish of the vermilion, and then you can have 10 fish total. So you get 10 fish of any of the complex, but that goes for like rockfish, that goes for greenlings. All these things fall into it. You get 10 fish, 10 fish total, but then you can only have some of the subcategory. So if you're getting the grass rockfish or whatever it is, you can have 10 of those, no problem. Whitefish, 10 of those. The kelp fish, flagpole rockfish, any of those, you get 10. No problem. They'll let you have them. But once you start getting into vermilion and some of these other fish, bring it up here. Vermilion and the other fish, you're limited to what you can have. So you see here, you could have four vermilion rockfish. You can have 1 quillback rockfish, and then 1 copper rockfish per person. But that counts for your 10 fish total. You can see here, so you get the 10. So when it's coming to the other rockfish, as many as you want, but you have to be careful about which ones you're catching, because you can only have some. So you can't stack up on 9 vermilion and be like, oh, I get 10 rockfish. No, not for the vermilion. And those are pretty common out here too. So that's why you got to be careful with those. You run into those a lot, especially in like La Jolla and stuff like that. You find them all the time. And they fall into the RCG complex. What that stands for is rockfish, cabezon, and greenlings. So they all fall into this thing. Another thing you've got to think about is the actual size. So most rockfish do not have a size limit. You know, whatever size they are, you can keep them. Small, big, not a problem. They don't have size limits on the rockfish. But some fish do that are still within that complex that we were talking about. Like the sheephead, for example. So you can have 5 sheephead per person, but I believe they still go into your aggregate. It's either the same as the rockfish cabezon greenling complex. That's what that stands for. You get 5 fish, but these ones do have a size limit, where rockfish don't. The sheephead do. They've got to be 12 inches total, and you get 5. Now that's the same as last year. I mean, which is good. I know we were concerned about the sheephead being overfished a little bit last year, so it doesn't look like they changed any regulations, which is good. But just remember, those have to be 12 inches. The California scorpion fish, or as we know it as the sculpin, these are open year round though. These aren't really part of the same complex, but 5 fish per person. But these ones have a 10-inch total limit, and these look just like rockfish. So if you don't know, poisonous, don't grab them. But those have to have a size limit as well. Lean cod, obviously, so you get 2 fish, 22 inches on those. Whitefish you can go crazy on, just like any of the other ones. So just know what you guys are catching. Make sure that you're doing your homework, um, look up pictures, go find what they look like, especially here on the California side. They actually have a colored guide, like a PDF, um, of which fish are which, but definitely familiarize yourself with it. If you're unsure, send them back, bring a descending device if it helps. Basically, that's just a device that sends them down so that they live. If you don't know what it is, or you're just not sure and you're not sure if it's illegal, did I catch a yellow eye? Do I have too many vermilion? You're not sure if it's a vermilion. Send it back down. Send it down safely. I mean, there's plenty of rockfish there. I think you do have to have a descender too if you're fishing over so many fathoms. So just make sure you've got one on you guys. What that is basically, if the rockfish comes up and its stomach and air bladders out of its mouth, it's a device you put in its mouth with a weight on it, and it'll send it down slowly. And as you reel it up, it'll just lift out of its mouth and it puts the fish down. So a lot of times you throw the fish back and they float belly up, and then the boat floats away, and then the fish is upside down. You're never getting it back. I mean, that fish is dead. So you're trying to take care of dead loss, and stuff like that. Only one copper rockfish, Coach. Yep.
You said Mexican rockfish haven't been excluded.
Who was saying that?
Coach. Is that what that means?
Yeah, Mexican rockfish have been open. I mean, if that's what you're talking about, yeah, I've seen people fishing them. The Malahini's been out there getting the Mexican rockfish for sure. So that has not closed down. This is definitely just here for California, Southern California management area. Descender isn't required yet, but they will be. Okay, it's probably good practice to have one. I thought they were required, but yeah, you might be right. You probably are right. But definitely get a descender. They're not that expensive. They're worth having. Um, Definitely save some fish. Yeah, it's the only reliable way. A lot of people try to skin hook it, which I've done too when you don't have a descender, but that's hit or miss, man. You go to yank it up and you just hook the fish again and pull it in. It's pretty crazy. And then, yeah, just some fishing regulations. And one of the things I wanted to talk about regarding the rockfish is the hook regulations. And basically, you can only have two hooks. When you're fishing for anything else, and this is where it gets hairy, you can throw a sabiki down and you can catch as many sole, halibut, whatever you want. You're throwing a big A-rig down there for a halibut maybe, and you've got 6 hooks on it. So if you have rockfish in your boat, you don't want to be then throwing the sabiki down with 6 hooks or an A-rig, right? And say, oh, well, I'm fishing for halibut now. You're probably going to get in trouble with the a fishing game. So if you've got fish on, if you throw them back or you're sending them back down because you're not targeting the rockfish with multiple hooks, that's fine, right? You're looking for halibut with an A-rig with 6 hooks on it. You catch a rockfish, descend the rockfish, you're in good shape. But the second you keep a rockfish, you cannot be fishing with your A-rig anymore because they're going to see rockfish in your boat and they're going to be, oh, well, you're fishing an A-rig and you've got 6 hooks and now you've got fish. You don't want to try to contest that, even if you were fishing rockfish before, right? You were doing the 2 fish, maybe you caught your limit, but now you're fishing for other stuff. So I would fish for other stuff first if you're going to go for halibut and stuff like that, because if they find you with 6 hooks on something and you've got rockfish in the boat, you're going to have a hard time trying to explain that you caught those prior with 2 hooks, even if you did legally. It's just be intelligent about it, guys. And then
he says he didn't mean Mexican rockfish. He meant the Mexican rockfish.
Also,
the pinky rockfish.
Oh, the Mexican rockfish. No, the actual Mexican rockfish. It was like no take list for a while. Yeah, I don't think it's on there. I think the only no takes. That's funny, Coach. I didn't see that. I think the only no take on here is down here. Bronze spotted, cow cod, and yellow eye. May not be taken or possessed in California. So those are the only ones I see. So Mexican rockfish must be okay. At least according to them. I mean, this is from the official guide. If you guys want this, I'll throw it in the chat for you right now. So you've got some resource.
And Zachary Riggs is here, and he wants to know if you rehook a fish while descending it, does it count as another catch?
What was that, Zach? If you
rehook a fish.
If you rehook a fish while descending it, does it count as another catch?
Wouldn't it technically still be on your hook?
Like if you rehook a different fish?
Or you're descending it and you end up Remember, you were like, if you skin hook it, but then you pull it up, and you recaught
And
it.
you recaught it. Oh, I don't know if you if you rehook a fish while descending, it does it count as another catch? I don't think so, but it doesn't matter because if you were releasing it, you're just gonna release it again anyways. When you send it down, like it's not the catching that's the problem; it's the possession of fish usually. Um, if that makes sense. Like if you catch it doesn't say you can't catch 15 vermilion rockfish. You can't control what you catch. It just you can't keep 15 vermilion rockfish, and that's why they want you descending them and taking care of them. So because you know how it goes, you can't like decide what you're going to catch and not catch. I mean, it's just fishing, man. You never know what you got when you're pulling it up. So saltwater fishing is great, but yeah, um, it's not the catching; it's the possession is the main thing. As long as you're not actively targeting them. Hopefully that works. And then, so then when it comes to the hooks too, for those of you guys that know, watch the show. You guys know that I'm into jigging. Got my own jigs, the Slow Death jigs. I jig pretty much everything. Rockfish are no exception. And
Eric says he is only
it's
fishing
it's
submission fishing jigs.
Eric said he's only fishing submission
Sorry,
fishing jigs.
Aaron.
Aaron, nice dude, Aaron, awesome. So when you're fishing jigs, something you have to look out for is like how many hooks on a jig. You got to remember that you got the 2 hooks. Now, the whole purpose of the hook thing, right, is they don't want you putting 6 hooks on a dropper loop, right? Having a weight and then 1 hook, 2 hook, 3 hook, 18 inches apart, where you send it down with a strip squid on it and you jig it. You can literally catch like 6 fish at a time. Um, Obviously, that's what they're trying to avoid with the whole hook thing. So when they say 2 hooks, that's what they mean, right? Like, how many fish are you going to catch on 2 hooks down on? Probably 2 fish. That's the whole point. But when it comes to jigs, it's different, right? Because some of these jigs have tons of hooks on them. They have 4 hooks. But to be safe, make sure you're only running 2 hooks on slow pitch jigs. So we'll go over some examples here. This is the one. This is how they come in the bag. It's only got 2 hooks on it. And you can put these on the front or the back. You're fine. Even though the hooks are on the one end, it's only got 2 set of hooks. So we've got 2 assist hooks. And a lot of times you can move these to the back or you just fish it from the other end. And these are on the bottom, or you can fish them on the top. Either way, it's okay. You've only got two hooks on the jig. It shouldn't be a problem. Now, what is a problem, and many jigs come rigged like this, or maybe you rigged it like this for tuna and you decided to drop it down for rockfish. But now you've got 2 sets of 2 hooks. Well, this would be an illegal jig to be fishing for rockfish. See how you got the double hooks on the end and then double hooks on the eye side. You don't want to fish this for rockfish, even though you're not catching 4 fish on this jig, right? Like, it's one of those stupid gray areas with the rules that we're not smart enough to understand that fishing game knows, right? The whole point of you doing the multiple hooks is so you don't catch multiple fish, but they don't care, right? They're just looking to cite you and give you tickets. I guarantee you, they're out there to write tickets to people for. I mean, that's half their job. Let's be honest. We know you're not going to catch multiple fish on this, maybe 2, but even still, do not fish this with 4 hooks because they will get you. They're going to say, oh, the rule book says you can't have more than 2 hooks and you're fishing for rockfish. It has nothing to do with the number of hooks. They don't want you to catch multiple fish. But the fact that you still have 4 hooks on this thing, you're going to get in trouble. So make sure you do not have it rigged up like this, or have a double and then a single, because then you have 3 hooks. So if you've got a double and then 1 single on the end, now you're with 3 hooks, you're still outside of compliance. So make sure you're only fishing 2 hooks on each end. Now, what you could do, and what I was doing quite a bit last year, is you can do like this. Hook, if you want hooks on each side, run a single hook on each end. So now I've got 1 hook on the eye side, 1 hook on the end side. This one is in compliance. So now you've got a hook on each end, but now you're only dealing with 2 hooks again. You don't have the doubles basically. So just make sure, when you're fishing jigs, if you're fishing jigs this year, I fished tons of jigs last year for rockfish. Absolutely killed it on them, dude. It's super fun. If you guys haven't, I'd really recommend it. Slow pitch jigging for rockfish is awesome. but make sure, because I made that mistake last year where I was sending one down because, like, say this, you go out to La Jolla, I can fish this jig for yellowtail too, right, or tuna. Well, you can run the 4 hooks, so it doesn't matter. You go out to La Jolla, you can fish this, and I'm looking for yellowtail, and I want the best hookup. Or I actually killed this thing with yellowfin last year, this exact jig, not this exact jig, but this same model, and I would run it like this with the 4 hooks. Well, let's say you're out here in La Jolla looking for a yellowtail with this. Well, you can fish this same jig for rockfish. So you make the mistake of using this jig with 4 hooks. You're like, oh, well, there's a nice spot right here on the ground. Let me just, you grab your pole real quick and you drop this jig down, because this jig will catch pelagics, but then you can drop it to the bottom and then fish it for rockfish. But then you forget, oh crap, I caught a fish. I've got 4 hooks on this damn thing. I totally forgot about it because I was jigging for yellowtail or bonito or whatever it was. So you have to be really careful and just remember, because I caught a fish on this before with the 4 hooks, and I had it on video and I sent it down. I wanted to show everybody, look, I've said I made a mistake. Like, I totally forgot I had 4 hooks on this thing. I caught a nice rockfish, put my descender down. I sent it down, got the jig with it, just replaced the jig roll hooks with the 2 hooks, and went from there. I mean, obviously you can just always fish it with 2 hooks, so you don't have to worry about it. But it gets confusing, man. The whole rockfish thing, when you're dealing with other fish, it's like, it's just, you just got to know, you can't be lackadaisical, because those fines are fat, and trust me, they're looking to tax your ass on those fines.
Kevin said he saw
I
a person
guarantee
get
you.
a ticket for the 3 hook rule and it was not cheap.
Oh, see, someone, I got it.
I've seen a person.
I seen a person get a ticket for the 3 hook rule, and it was not. Yeah, dude, and it's crazy. So be careful. I mean, so jigs, I fish jigs. You guys know that I'm a jig fisherman. I love fishing them. So it's, you got to remember, man. You got to take some of the hooks off if you run it like that. If you buy them like the Slow Death jigs that I have out of the box, they're going to come with the 2, so you're okay. If you want to modify them and do one on each end, you can do that, or cut one off and then add another one on the back. Uh, you got options, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And a treble hook is 1 hook. Yeah, right. Does a treble hook? Oh, does a treble hook count as 1 hook? Yeah, a treble hook counts as 1 hook. It does, right? So it's like, what? Tell me how stupid that is. I guess you can argue that, right? Like, it's on one. It's one cord. If you unravel the cord, it's one cord, but I guess the hooks aren't attached. Like, a treble hook has 3 hooks on it, right? But if you threw something down with 3 assist hooks, that is like, oh no, no, so you can throw 2 treble hooks down. Just keep this in mind: 2 treble hooks. That's 6 hook points. You could send a treble hook down with 6 hook points, and it only counts as 2 hooks. Totally legal. You send something down with 2 assist hooks. Oh, that's 4 separate hooks. That's not 2 hooks. That's 4. It's so stupid, man. It's, I don't know. That's regulators for you guys. It just doesn't. So much of it doesn't make sense, but just know what they are. As long as you know the regulations, you can get around them. Not get around them, but you can make sure you're in compliance. You know, it is what it is. Cape Dog says I got 2 Sannies on one 200-gram jig par knife jig. Yeah, you can get 2. I was gonna say, yeah, the double up isn't like, um, it's not unheard of for sure. I've double up all the time on the jigs, but I mean, getting more than 2, because that's what they're worried about, right? They don't want you pulling up like 6 rockfish in a row. The Their worry is, we want to keep it that you're only pulling up a maximum of 2 fish at a time. No matter how many hooks you got on a slow pitch jig, you're never pulling up more than 2 fish. Like, if you did, that'd be crazy, right? But even if you got, I wonder if that's, but what if you only had like 2 hooks and you got 4 fish on a dropper loop? They'd probably still let you keep them.
Should I share
I
this
don't know, man.
device that you got in the chat?
Yeah,
asking.
Yeah, you can. Zach, we're gonna Jessica's gonna put a link to Amazon for the descending device that I have, the one that I actually use, that I think I lost. Then I probably have to buy another one because I couldn't find it. I was looking for it the other day, and I'm like, I don't know why I would have ever taken it out of my bag, but this is the one I used last year. It works good, so that's gonna go in the chat for you guys if you're looking for a descending device. Works pretty good. Coach War says, I just hang an inverted hook above the weight, clip the point off. Yeah, that works too. That definitely works. Sierra regs are more complicated. I don't know what those are. Is that like the freshwater fishing? Oh yeah, dude. Some of the freshwater fishing regulations are like you can't use barbs. Hooks have to be a certain size. That's a whole nother can of worms, man. It's like you got to have a law degree to understand fishing regulations. I've said that many times before. Where you know how like you ask an IRS agent about the tax code, they don't know. They couldn't tell you what's what. Somebody in an office somewhere told you something was out of compliance, and they come and cite you. You could ask them what the law is, or like I don't know. Even tax attorneys don't even know what the hell's in the book. Everything's so specific to what you do. I swear fishing regulations are the same thing. It's like it's the same level of craziness. There's so much gray area. Even the people that make the rules don't understand the rules. It's like it's nuts. Just make sure you're in compliance with the big ones. Know the laws, make sure you're following them. So don't give us all a bad name.
Scooby Doo wants to know the same thing that Aaron does. Which jigs for rockfish? Slow death jigs.
Make rules for people to be fine.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's the only reason that happens.
It's true, Kevin. Someone had to be paid 100%, man. These dudes got quotas. I don't know if fishing game have quotas, to be honest with you, but yeah, they're out there looking. They're looking to find you. I guess is the point I'm trying to say, guys. They're hoping they're out there so they can write tickets, and bring in some money for sure. So don't let them. Just like the gun laws
and traffic laws.
Yeah, pretty much any law, right? Seatbelt laws, traffic laws, it don't matter. They're all gotchas. They're all gotcha laws, man. They kind of write this oversweeping thing where like when you're driving, you can be pulled over for anything. They can like same thing with fishing game. They can just tell you to come over. I don't even know if they need cause to pull you over, which is actually we should have somebody on who can maybe clarify some stuff. Like I don't know if they can just like they can I think just come over to your vessel and be like, hey, let me see what you got. They don't even need cause. I've been boarded many times out on the water or been approached by like a coast guard or fishing game, and they just do whatever they want. Because you know what they do is they say, oh, we're going to do a safety check, right? Oh, we got to make sure you got a fire extinguisher and life jackets, and that's how they get in, and then they can look at whatever you want. So just understand that. Don't get had by the man. Keep it good. You said somebody else had a question about slow death jigs.
Scooby said, "Mark's is around the corner. What's up with the slow death rockfish jigs?" And then I know Aaron had asked the same thing on Instagram.
Scooby Mark's around the corner. What's up with the slow death rockfish jigs?
Will they work for trout and largemouth also?
Yeah,
that's also a question.
These are the ones I've been using for the rockfish, guys. The slow death. This is the javelin. We got these on the site. We've got the 130, and then we've got the 220. We got these in multiple colors on each side. Like if you're going over probably 300 feet or deeper, I'd go with this one, the 220. If you're going to be more shallow, just go with the 130. These things are awesome. Later, I've got like some 400 to 600 gram jigs coming within the next 2 months or so. If you guys are going 500-600 feet, we've got some big old ogre jigs coming in. But these ones will work, dude. You can watch some of my videos. I've crushed them on these. Sand bass too destroy these things. But yeah, they slay rockfish, man. Just put them on the bottom. Make sure you got really thin braid, and then a pretty thick leader. You don't have to flutter it all the way down. Likewise, just put your thumb on the reel, get that thing down as fast as you can, let it shoot down. You don't want it to flutter. Then once you hit the bottom, just start high sticking it. Lift it, let it flutter. Lift it, let it flutter. Let it be hitting the ground each time. You're going to get killed on those things. It's pretty awesome.
What size did you say you used?
The one, just the two sizes, the 130 and then the 220.
130 is the
They'll
one
smash it.
using.
The 130, yeah, you got that huge sand bass on them, right?
That was great.
By the way, we need a Oos Rockfish tournament. Hell yeah, dude. We should do one for sure. That could be awesome.
That's the same thing, right? At the same time. Submission fishing rockfish tournament.
When is a submission fishing rockfish trout?
Tournament, he meant.
Oh, tournament. Yeah, because as far as like the so what I was thinking, and we run this by you as far as like the Jessica, we were just talking about the submission fishing trip. So just gauge your guys' interest on what I want to do is we'll do a survey on Instagram or something like that. But what I want to do is charter a boat. All right, we'll come up with the price. So we'll charter the boat. We'll do the whole boat just with um, whoever signs up. Submission Fishing will rent the whole thing. So we'll charter the boat, and then included in the cost, we'll like give jigs away. And then on the way out, I want it to be like an all day affair. So the way out, we'll have like seminars, right? We'll get some people in, like some professionals or something. People give us seminars on fishing. And we'll have speeches and seminars on the way out, and then jigs are included. Then we'll fish all day, and then on the way back, have like raffles and stuff like that. We'll do like rod giveaways, lure giveaways, and so like the whole trip isn't just like, oh, we're out there, then we go fish and we come back, but like the whole thing would be like an event, sort of like, I think we're going to call it Submission at Sea, right? It's kind of the whole thing. You're getting jigs, you're getting seminars, we're doing giveaways. And then obviously the day in the middle is the whole day of fishing, you know? So I want it to kind of be like an experience instead of just going out and fishing like all day is like raffles or something going on that we can all participate in. So if that's something you guys are interested in, I mean, that's what we've been looking into. We're going to start looking into boats, who wants to take us. And
What day? Probably a Saturday.
yeah, probably a Saturday, probably a weekend. And then,
Sounds like everyone's excited.
we'll get some people that like know how to fish or that are qualified to like give seminars and stuff, right? And stuff like that.
I'll do the first seminar.
Jessica will?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jessica's going to do the first
I know
seminar.
what I'm talking about.
She's going to tell us how to not fish.
How to not get any.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's cool. I don't know if that's something you guys are into, but like just kind of like a whole experience. So not just a trip, like it's we're kind of getting everything, dude. Todd will support a giveaway. I mean, come on, guys. But that's what I'm talking about, right? We'll give away rods, have raffles. I think it'd be fun as hell. I think that'd be an awesome day at sea. Catch some fish, arm bar somebody. Yeah, that'll be the grand prize. Get a broken elbow. Need a guest speaker. Yeah, dude. I mean for sure. Like I need people that are Kevin is obviously up there, and there's others out there that are just really knowledgeable people that can add to what we're fishing for out in the open water, especially for a lot of us that are bay fishermen. I know, like me and Dave Ray, I actually do a lot of offshore fishing when summer comes around. I prefer that honestly a lot more than bay fishing, to be honest with you. Like La Jolla and offshore. I know a lot of these guys are bay fishermen, and it'd be nice to get those secrets and kind of what you're looking for in the offshore and stuff like that. So
would May be a good time of year?
I think it'd be pretty cool. Let's do it. January, February, March, April, May.
For good fishing in May.
Yeah, we'd have to come.
June.
May's a little early. June.
You could probably go
early June. Yeah, Jessica's trying to get on it for the baby pops out.
I don't know if I can go.
Early June. You might be screwed early June.
But you could go.
Maybe we go after. Late summer, I think, is pretty good. So we'll come up with a date. We'll figure it out. You never know. Right? With the fishing, it's some days is good, some days is bad. We can't guarantee. So that's the thing. We can't guarantee the great fishing. You guys all know that, but we can definitely guarantee the other things. We can do the prizes and the giveaway. We could still add value, and the great fishing would just be the thing on top. We can do a bunch of like pots and stuff like that, right? Like biggest, not just biggest fish, but like biggest type of fish caught on a certain jig, sort of like what we're doing with the spotty bull, all little tournaments like throughout the day, right? Next person that catches a vermilion rockfish wins something or something like that. So yeah, biggest fish, smallest fish. I mean, that's the brainchild. That's kind of what I've been playing around with. So hopefully pretty soon we're going to start looking into boats and get one maybe locked up. And then once we get a boat locked up, I'll try to get some speakers, people that want to do seminars, and then we'll start getting kind of the like giveaways together. Yeah, we'll go from there. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be fun.
Dave Rage is getting his gear ready.
Dave Rage getting his gear ready. That's awesome. Danny Prezzo. So yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of interest from you guys. So I think that'd be cool. Open mat at sea. Yeah. Getting tossed overboard. That'd be good stuff.
Can we go through these questions? Make sure you got everybody.
Yeah, let me go through the questions, guys. Make sure I got everything from you guys.
Did you do the will Slow Death
TB
work on trout and large
or TB Metal Art question? What is your favorite fish to target and eat? That's a good one. I like yellowfin, Dorado. I like bonito too, to be honest with you. Obviously,
Keep your
bluefin.
pokey
My
fish.
favorite lately, it's been the yellowfin. To be honest with you, they've been so abundant and they fight really well. But sheephead are up there too. There's so many, Todd. I mean, it's like that's such a hard question to answer. Pretty much was ever biting, man. I like Dorado. Actually, I'm probably gonna say Dorado. I like Dorado. They're fun as hell to fight. They jump out of the water, the way they swarm, um, and they're great eating too. So we're gonna go with Dorado. Make it easy. The mahi mahi.
Did you answer Aaron's question about the trout and largemouth bass?
Just will slow death jigs work for trout and largemouth bass? I haven't caught any on them. I know a lot of people they do eat jigs. Apparently, like I said, I'm not too much of a freshwater fisherman. They are pretty much interchangeable though. Like I'm sure they would. I've got smaller ones coming, you guys. I've got uh, some 10 and 15 grams. Hopefully in the next few months. I think those ones definitely for sure for trout. They're more of like a flutter type spoon. I know Dario and Salty, some guys out there fishing some of the prototypes for me, uh, giving me feedback and stuff like that. Brian likes to fish, tell me which colors, and he was giving me colors suggestions for freshwater. So it's definitely something we want to explore. Just I'm not like a great freshwater fisherman, so definitely something I'm going to get into though. I guarantee you they would work. I don't see why not. It's like the spotted bay bass. Anything you throw in freshwater, they'll eat. It's I think if you fish for spotties, the largemouth is a little different. I think freshwater you got to be a little more patient, a little harder to find because there's only so many fish and they live in the same small body of water. I understand that, but I bet they would. How about you guys go catch them and then let me know if they work? And that'd be awesome. If you guys start catching freshwater fish on the slow death jigs, that'd be awesome. I'd love to see that on Instagram, by the way. So if you guys are up to the challenge, see if you can get it done. I'll go out and join you. Then you guys can teach me how to do it. I think it'd be pretty cool. Good stuff, guys.
See, Samurai
I think
said
that was
any
all the
updates on
questions.
the boat, and I said we don't like to talk about it.
See, Samurai, any updates on the boat? Yeah, Dave Rage was asking about that too. I don't know, dude. I just got an email from them today saying like the Arimas were coming in.
Yeah, I've been
Did you see
hearing
that?
this.
Well,
Yes,
we've been
me
hearing
too.
that.
I've been hearing that.
It's been like over a year at this point, right? They're saying March now, but it's funny. I did see an email saying that they did expect a shipment soon, and that like a lot of them were spoken for, which I'm assuming ours is in there too. They sent it out to like the general customers. You know what I mean? Like coming in some Arima and Defiance boats. They said most were already bought, but there's few on the list. So hopefully that's a good sign. I almost don't think it exists at this point.
It's a mirage.
Right now, it's like now I'm worried about qualifying for the boat.
Right.
Because I've bought property. I bought a house, and then we buying a whole bunch of slow death jigs. Like we've taken out like a ton of money since before the boat, and now they're probably gonna have to rerun the credit and be like, why do you have hundreds of thousands of more in debt than you had earlier in the year? I'll be like, oh yeah, that might be a problem. So hopefully that works out. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But that's like my biggest fear now is they're gonna be like, oh, your debt to income ratio changed, and now you're gonna not qualify for another year.
Spotty Best
Crazy.
said make some 132-ounce for trout and I'll throw them. And then Cal said he sent his buddy some in Virginia. He's having a good year. Tell him to tag us on Instagram.
Make some 132-ounce for trout and I'll throw them. Interesting. Okay. I think the smallest I've got is the 10 gram. I thought I had some up here. I don't have them, but they're still kind of in the prototype phase. We're kind of tweaking which hook we want to put on and stuff like that, but it's interesting. Okay, send some to your buddy Slow Death Jigs to try on speckled trout in Virginia. He's having a good year. He's having a good year with the jigs. Tell him to send me pictures, dude. Or have him come in here. I'd love to talk to him. See how he's doing on the freshwater. That's awesome, man. That's encouraging. I went on a fishing trip with some dude, and he was from Wisconsin. That's ironically, I went out with Aaron Kruger. This was a couple of weeks ago, and a guy was from Wisconsin, and he was just visiting. And I gave him some jigs for free. I was like, "Here, dude, go test them, ice fish them, see what happens." I haven't heard from him, but it was a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if he fished them or not, but yeah, that'd be totally awesome if they worked. I don't know why they wouldn't. I'm sure they will. It's just learning how to fish them out there has got to be different. I'm gonna fish those jigs in Florida. Oh, but I only bought 60. We were fishing 15 to 20 feet deep. That's funny. Should have thrown them anyways. Yeah, man, Florida's all about like the live bait. I'm gonna change that, dude. When I go out there, I'm definitely gonna be fishing these little irons. Learn how to catch the redfish and black drum and all that stuff on them. It's gonna be awesome. It'll be a whole new challenge, but just showing people, yeah, it's sort of like out here, right? Like showing people like spotted bay bass on these little things. 2 years ago, nobody was doing it, right? And now it's like this club was kind of like for sure the pioneers and like in spreading the word. I think it's gonna be the same thing out there. People are gonna be like, "Damn, who's this dude fishing these little slow pitch jigs for these things?" But then once they start slaying, they're gonna be like all about it. That's awesome. Good stuff. Yeah, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Coming up on the end. Oh yeah, we got the giveaway.
How many giveaways are we doing? Just the one?
The one for the.
Or are we doing two? How many winners? I think there was. Oh, we gave one away.
We gave one away for trivia.
To Kevin, which
yeah.
we haven't sent him yet. And then we had the raffle. Okay, so this is the raffle.
So this is the raffle.
We had 18 comments.
We had 18 comments. I commented Oos.
And
the winner is chosen at random. Drum roll.
Stephen Gage.
Stephen Gage. Stephen Gage. I don't know if you're in here. Maybe you've got a different alias. So hit us up. If you don't, hit us up and send us a message or on Instagram. Send us your address. We're on Facebook. Just DM us and we'll get it out to you. We've had some stuff that we didn't like. People won before and we didn't get it out. So if we don't hear from you in like a couple of weeks, we'll give out another giveaway for somebody else. So if they don't collect it, we'll make sure somebody gets it. And yeah, we'll put trivia in the rotation, guys, and then we'll start giving away more jigs and stuff like that. And yeah, thank you guys for joining. It's been awesome. Let's go out there and fish. It's gonna be cold this weekend. I'm still debating whether I want to fish or not. Doug Rubin, yeah, man, let's go fishing next weekend. Let's do it. I'm down. And yeah, be safe out there. Hopefully you guys catch some fish, tight lines. Thank you for all the support, for liking the channel. If you guys want to buy some jigs, Slow Death Jigs, go to submissionfishing.com. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you guys for everything, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, rockfish coming up next week. Let's go get it. Oos.
You know, have me on next week if I'm available. Oh. Is it?
I think we're still on. Yeah, Coach. Sorry. I thought I ended it, but I was reading your message. Yeah, we'll have you on next week, Coach, for sure. That won't be a problem. We'll see you then. Later, guys.